My surprise visit exposed my wife's secret life. I knew something was wrong the moment her message arrived. "I'll be working late, don't wait up." 9 simple words. Quiet, efficient, emotionless. But something inside me, some old instinct I thought marriage had softened, twisted sharply. It wasn't jealousy, it wasn't fear, it was recognition. A memory of every lie I'd ever heard in a calm voice. I stared at the screen for a long minute, too long. The office clock behind me ticked like it was counting down to something I wasn't prepared to face. I typed nothing back. Instead, I stood, walked to the kitchen, packed dinner for her, her favorite, the one she always said made her feel safe. A gesture that once meant love, tonight it meant something else, something colder. The whole drive to her office, I felt my heartbeat in the tips of my fingers. Not fast, not panicked, just present. Too present. Like my body already knew what my mind refused to admit. When I reached the parking lot, her car was there. But the building was dark. Every floor, except one, her floor. A single square of light and a tower of shadows. I stared up at it, holding the dinner bag in my hand, suddenly heavier than it should have been. The night wind pressed against me, whispering something I didn't want to understand. I walked toward the door anyway, and with each step, the truth walked with me. The elevator groaned as it rose, slow, reluctant, as if even it didn't want to carry me to the truth. My reflection in the steel doors looked unfamiliar, too calm, too composed. People who are about to break don't look like that. But I wasn't about to break, not yet. When the doors opened, the hallway was dim, lit only by the blue glow of exit signs. Her office was at the end, glass-walled, fully visible from where I stood. I saw her silhouette first. She wasn't alone. A second shadow moved behind her, close, too close. They weren't touching, not exactly, but their bodies leaned into each other in a way that belonged to people who had forgotten the world around them. I didn't step forward. I didn't make a sound. I simply watched. Her laugh, quiet but unmistakable, slipped through the crack beneath the door. A laugh she hadn't used with me in months. A laugh that once belonged to us. Now it belonged to someone else. I felt the shift inside me. Not anger, not devastation, just the understanding. A slow, heavy settling of truth. She wasn't working. She wasn't tired. She wasn't drifting away. She was choosing. Choosing him. Choosing a life I didn't know existed. I took one step back. The floor felt unsteady, but my mind didn't. Something inside me clicked into place, like a gear that had always been waiting to rotate. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a moment of weakness. This was a pattern I hadn't seen until now. Or maybe I had seen it, and refused to believe it. I turned away from the office door. I didn't confront her. I didn't burst in. I didn't give them the satisfaction of my pain. Instead, I walked back to the elevator, the dinner still warm in my hand. And that's when the plan began forming, quietly, like a shadow. Not revenge, not punishment, truth. Cold, undeniable truth. For the next 2 weeks, I became someone else, someone who watched, listened, collected. She didn't notice. She couldn't, not with how carefully I moved. Every morning she kissed my cheek with a guilt-free gentleness. Every night she texted me the same line, "Working late, don't wait up." It was almost insulting how easily the lies came. I started small. Phone logs, message backups, GPS history she didn't know synced to our shared cloud. I didn't read everything at once. I let it unfold slowly, like scenes in a movie I already knew the ending to. She wasn't just meeting him. She was building a second life. Private dinners, afternoon hotel rooms, messages that shifted from professional to personal to intimate in a matter of weeks. The evidence grew in silence. I even contacted a private investigator, Not because I needed confirmation, but because I wanted precision. Dates, times, photos, facts that didn't shake, didn't cry, didn't defend themselves. She never suspected. I played my role too perfectly. Soft, distant, tired. The kind of husband who would never look too closely. Inside, though, something dark was sharpening. Not hatred, not despair, clarity. Love had blinded me. Betrayal fixed my vision. One evening, she mentioned a team-building workshop scheduled for Friday. She wouldn't be home until late. I nodded, pretending to scroll through my phone. But I already knew the truth. The investigator had confirmed it that morning. Hotel, same man, same room number as always. I didn't confront her. Instead, I spent that evening collecting every piece of evidence, messages, photos, surveillance screenshots, and arranging them in a simple folder titled, Your Life. I didn't know what I would do with it yet, but I knew I would use it. Not to destroy her, not to expose her to the world, but to make her face the reality she had crafted so carefully. Because the cruelest revenge is not fury, it's truth spoken calmly. Friday came quietly. She left the house in her favorite blouse, white silk, the one she used to wear on our date nights. She smelled like flowers I didn't buy for her anymore. She kissed my cheek. Her lips were warm. Her eyes were empty. After she drove away, I followed, but not too close. I already knew where she was going. I just needed to witness the moment myself. The hotel lobby was quiet, neutral, innocent in its artificial warmth. I didn't go inside. I waited in the parking lot, watching the entrance. 20 minutes later, she entered the elevator with him, laughing, leaning, touching his arm like it was second nature. When the elevator doors closed, something inside me settled. Not pain, not shock, acceptance. The truth was no longer a shadow. It was a full shape, standing right in front of me. I went home, calm, steady. When she returned hours later, past midnight, she smelled of perfume and someone else's cologne. She slipped into bed beside me like she had just come from an office meeting. I waited until morning. When she entered the kitchen, still sleepy, still stretching, she froze. The folder was on the table. Your Life. She stared at it for a long moment, then looked at me. What is this? Her voice cracked on the last word. I didn't answer. I just nodded toward the chair. She opened the folder. Her face drained color. Photos, screenshots, dates, locations. Her messages in her own words. I watched her crumble silently, each page cutting deeper than any accusation ever could. She began to cry. I didn't. She tried to speak. I raised a hand. Calm, steady. No explanations, I said quietly. Just read. And she did. Page after page. Her breathing fractured. Her hands shook. She kept whispering things like, please, and this isn't what you think, and I can explain. But the evidence didn't need her voice. When she reached the last page, she wasn't standing anymore. She was sitting on the edge of the chair, face buried in her hands, trembling. I sat across from her, detached, almost clinical. When were you going to tell me? I asked. She shook her head violently. It was a mistake, I swear. It didn't mean. It meant enough, I interrupted. She looked up, eyes red, mascara streaked. Do you want a divorce? She whispered. The question hung between us, heavy as a confession. No, I said. She looked startled, hopeful even. Not yet. Confusion replaced hope. She didn't understand. Good. I leaned forward. You built 2 lives, one with me, one with him. I just wanted you to see them side by side. She swallowed hard. You're leaving? She asked, voice barely audible. Yes. But you said, I'm walking away from your version of us, I said, not my own. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. That small movement hurt her more than any scream could have. I stood, grabbed my jacket, and walked to the door. Her last words followed me like a dying echo. "Please, don't go." But I didn't look back. She had chosen her life. I was finally choosing mine. I didn't drive anywhere specific. I just drove. City lights blurred past the windows like fading memories. Everything felt lighter, like I'd been carrying a weight I didn't realize was crushing me until I set it down. She called, texted, begged. I didn't answer. There was nothing left to say. The truth had already spoken for both of us. Around midnight, I parked overlooking the river. Dark water moving beneath the bridge like time itself. I breathed deeply, for the first time in months. I wasn't angry, I wasn't broken, just done. I realized something then, something I think she'll understand only when it's too late. Betrayal doesn't end a relationship. It ends a version of you. The softer version, the trusting version, the version that believed love was enough. She didn't just cheat on me. She killed the man who would have forgiven her. And as I sat there, watching the water move quietly beneath the night sky, I understood the final truth. I didn't lose her. I escaped her. When I finally drove away, I didn't take the memories, the pain, or the past with me. I left all of it behind, along with the last pieces of who I used to be. And for the first time, the silence felt like freedom.